Hello? I'm trying to make a YouTube video. Can you stop calling me? Oh my god. All you do is call my phone all day long and I'm trying to do stuff. Stop calling me. I'm making pumpkin bread today. Vegan pumpkin bread. Since it's fall, I saw this cute little pumpkin at the store the other day, like the kind you're supposed to eat. So I got it and I realized I should make pumpkin bread. Duh, that can be an interesting video. Instead of boring you with banana bread again, I can make pumpkin bread. So I'm gonna make pumpkin bread. I'm no expert at making videos. I don't know anything. I really wish I'd stop doing that laugh. Yeah, I'm no expert at making videos. This is all very new to me, so every time I do this, I try something different, and I try to calm myself down so I don't get all worked up and nervous. Pumpkin loaf. I'm gonna make a pumpkin loaf. That's what I'm gonna call it, a pumpkin loaf. That just seems more interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna make pumpkin loaf. I'm gonna use a pumpkin to do it. Let me get my pumpkin. Alright, I'm gonna get the pumpkin loaf started. One of these days I'm gonna figure out how to talk on camera and it's gonna be great. So what I'm gonna do is just take this pumpkin and cut it up into, I'm probably just gonna cut it in half, and I'm gonna bake it in the oven at 400 degrees, probably. Be really careful when you're doing this, because I've cut my fingers really bad chopping things before. Like, just take your time and breathe through it, okay? Okay, now that I have them cut in half, I have to take the seeds out. Now don't throw these seeds away because we can roast them and they're a really good snack and they're really healthy and have a lot of protein and zinc. And they're actually really expensive when you buy them roasted at the store. I'm not gonna try too hard to get these stringy parts out because it's all gonna get mashed together when it's cooked anyway. It's really not a big deal. Okay, now I have this silicone baking sheet. You don't have to put any oil down on it. It's non-stick, that's the point of it, and it can withstand temperatures up to 425 degrees. So this is really great for baking potatoes and stuff like this, squashes, everything. So I'm just gonna put it face down, both halves. I have the oven set to 400. I think I'm gonna just start with 40 minutes and see how it turns out. I was trying to get my camera set up and they were done already, so yeah, that was 40 minutes. They're perfect. Alright, so while the pumpkin's cooling off, I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. I'm going to start with whole wheat flour. You can use regular flour. I just really like whole wheat. That's how I roll. I'm just doing 2 cups. The next thing I'm going to do is add stevia. This is another weird ingredient that I like to cook with. You could totally use regular sugar. It's seriously, this doesn't have to be healthy. I just prefer to use as little sugar as I can throughout the day. And I'm doing 1 cup. The next thing I'm going to do is a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. And then I just have a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm just gonna whisk them together. Now I just thought of something. If you use real regular sugar, add it with the wet ingredients so it dissolves before you mix it with everything else. I'm gonna put this to the side and get the wet ingredients started. Even though technically this is a dry ingredient flaxseed meal, I'm gonna turn it into a flax egg, so it's actually gonna be a wet ingredient. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of flax meal. And to make it a flax egg, I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of water for each tablespoon of flax meal, so that's a total of 6 tablespoons. Next thing I'm going to do is add 1/4 cup of canola oil. Half a cup of soy milk. I'm going to do a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. This helps activate the baking soda and the baking powder. Whisk it together. Alright, these are still pretty hot, but they're cooled off enough now that I can work with them. See? It's so easy. Now, I'm not really sure how much of this I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna start adding some, and I could add more if I have to. I'm gonna start with half of the pumpkin, which I'd say is probably about a cup, maybe a little more. I'm just gonna smash it together. Yeah, I already know I'm gonna need more. I'm gonna take half of the other half, which is 1/4 of the pumpkin. And see, I'm keeping those stringy parts. They're just gonna mash right in, so don't even worry about those. I'm just gonna take the wet ingredients and add it to the dry ingredients. It's gonna seem really dry when you first start out, but just kind of smush it together, and before long you'll start to see the doughy consistency come together. I think it's awesome actually when you make something from scratch, like with an actual pumpkin, and you find a pumpkin seed in it. Like, that's kind of what makes it special, so I'm gonna leave it. When I make any kind of loaves like this, I like to use parchment paper instead of oil. Okay, and for the final touch, I'm gonna add some date syrup on top. This is completely optional. I have the date nectar. I gotta use it, so you could totally use maple syrup or just nothing, or you could just sprinkle some sugar on top. It just gives it like that extra something. I don't know. All right, now I'm just gonna put it in the oven at 350 for 50 minutes. This is why I like using the parchment paper. It comes right out.